Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Mamluks podcast. My name is Sim. Along with me are my co-hosts.
Hey,
Hammer.
low energy. You gotta start higher.
Oh,
What the hell is
No,
this?
Sim is chill, bro. Hey, do your thing, bro.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Mad Mamluks podcast. My name is Sim. Along with me are my co-hosts, Sheikh Hammer and Mort.
And more.
Oh, you made Mort really happy.
What's going on, everyone? We have a wonderful show for you guys this evening, but before we get started, help us out on patreon.com/the Mad Mamluks, and make sure you click on the old like button, give it a nice gentle stroke, and then
Smash it.
hit it hard. Also, you can go to what? Oh, we gotta tell them. Sorry, no, we already talked about Patreon, Chef. Let's get with the program.
I like the new interface you have here.
Oh, the interface? No, that's usually on my screen. You're just seeing it on your
Oh,
screen.
very
I don't know. It's distracting me.
No, it's kind of cool. I like it. I like reading the comments sometimes.
I don't think you should, Chef.
That'll distract me.
A lot of things distract you. You're like those animals that... Squirrel!
Dogs do that.
Yeah. Old
Good.
Sheikh Hammer. He made it to the studio. He came to the back passage this time. That was wonderful.
I'm glad. It's actually on the side.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah.
you could walk around the house to the back passage,
With your permission, I did.
and you made it
I did. I used my flashlight.
very smoothly and easily.
Alhamdulillah. Cell phone comes with a flashlight.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah. What about you, Mort? What's new in your world, man? I like your your sweatshirt, bro. What's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
I'm glad you noticed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, everything's good, man. Life is good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't complain. Alhamdulillah, life is good, man. Alive and kicking.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
Life is good. Chasing paper. Good.
Jason. Monkey. The chat's...
No, you know
Making
what?
me
You know
laugh.
what I said?
Oh,
'Cause-
what's my?
No.
I think you say something. I gotta know what he's saying, bro.
No.
No.
We got to show... Yeah, Sheikh.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
sure. But before,
You gotta
since let me qualify that because I did make people always take me out of context. Hey, you're such a capitalist, Mort. What's wrong with you? Yeah, you're money hungry. No, I think the thing is here that there are certain people in our community that believe that the more money you make, the more haram it is for you. Right? I think, oh no, you got to be beggars and live like paupers in the world, and I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, I say that, you know what? Hey, if Allah gives you money, it's what you do with the money. For me, I see money as a tool, right? Or actually, money actually is a polisher. If you're a bad person, it makes you worse. If you're a good person, it makes you better. But
I don't know. It can make a bad person worse. It can make a good person worse. Someone who...
But I think it depends on your nature. If that person is in the, like for example, if you look at some of the Sahabas, they were given their titles because of how much they spent. Like Uthman al-Ghani,
Yeah.
Abdurrahman bin Auf,
Yeah.
Abu Bakr.
Well,
The
those-
money they had, they were wealthy people.
But they were
very
already...
wealthy.
Yeah, I know. But that doesn't mean that the average person who's not just a good person, a good-hearted person, and he ends up getting a boatload of money, that he doesn't succumb to his weakness and follows his desires and just starts spending on cocaine and hookers. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I would say that that's your nature. Like it's a test for you. If
That's the key word I was going to say. It's a test. Money's a test, regardless.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest tests, as Muhammad said.
I mean, look,
in the
here's the
hadith,
thing, right? I mean, everyone can claim they're a good person, and you can be a nice person when everything is easy for you when it's not. But when you have an opportunity, what do? That's why I say it's a refiner, it's a polisher. Because when you're presented with the opportunity, you could say, if I had $1 million, I'd build a message, I'd do this, I'd do that, right?
Yeah.
But what are you actually doing? This is a test of your character.
Yeah, it is. It is. Provisions are always a test, man. And I think we all have to be honest with ourselves. Whenever you get after the money and you get it, there's a few questions you have to ask yourself, and there's a few check boxes you have to check off, right? Number one, like last week we were talking about this. I don't mean to bring this up. If it makes you feel uncomfortable more, I know very little things make you feel uncomfortable, but you said, look, where I'm at right now, it's never because of Allah and my mother's du'as. That's what you said.
Alhamdulillah.
Test pass, bro. That's
Yeah.
all it is, right? Take it out of your heart and put it in your pocket. If you have a lot of money, alhamdulillah. You know what I'm saying? And use it the way it's supposed to be used. And it opens up your options too, right? And if somebody wants to choose a life and they don't trust themselves, or they just don't want to be, let's be straightforward. They don't want to be answerable in front of Allah. The more you have, the more answerable you are in front of Allah, right? And sometimes people, they just don't want it. And sometimes Allah puts people in positions where they're not able to attain more wealth, and they're going to stay in that situation because that's a way of getting closer to Allah. It's a favor from Allah. And some people, they utilize their money, Allah gives them, and that's their way of getting closer to Allah. So we have to be, there's a big portion that we don't talk about, is that we have to be honest with ourselves too, right? After I have this amount of money, what did I actually do with it? Because that's what Allah's going to ask you about, right? And you have to check. There's a type of accountability that has to take place by yourself, upon yourself, and you have to be honest with yourself, right? If you're not honest with yourself, then it's going to be very, very difficult.
See, a lot of the problems that happen with people is that they're just not honest with themselves. They feed themselves lies. They don't take accountability for whatever mistakes that they've made in their life. They assign blame to so-and-so. They blame their parents, blame their family members. They blame racism. And many of these things could be correct too. They could have had a bad childhood. They could have had a horrible parent. They could have had, discrimination and racism that they've experienced in their life. That all might be true. But how are you gonna move beyond that? How are you gonna blame the reason why you failed a job interview on racism or on your parents or on your friends? It takes some level of honesty until you come to terms with the reasons for your own failures, until you really take a hard look in the mirror and say, hey, I screwed up because I just didn't put the effort in.
No, but you know what though? Let me just put it, as much as that sounds nice, accountability, all the stuff, it's great. But the way I look at it like this, and this is the interesting relationship, I've looked at my whole life this way. We as Muslims, this is nice when someone maybe doesn't have as Islam as a foundation, and I'll tell you why. As a Muslim, you're first and foremost, everything is qadr Allah.
Yeah, man.
Everything.
Yeah, bro.
Doesn't matter how hard you work or you don't work. Whatever is supposed to come to you is going to come to you. Whatever is not supposed to come to you is not going to come to you. However, in that mindset, we know Allah doesn't distinguish between work, meaning that the condition is you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
So if I did something and didn't get the job, it might be because I did something stupid, I didn't do better, or it might be I might have done everything perfect.
Yeah.
But it's not written for me.
Yes.
And that should be the first default that any Muslim thinks. And not like, oh man, how do I I get self-reflection, which is wonderful. Self-reflection is really good. Okay? And I think it should come second though. First is you have to first ingrain in your mind that, hey, it wasn't meant for me. Mindset. Because, and this is what, when you asked me about that job, I said, I never praised myself about that. Not that I'm trying to be humble. I'm a very arrogant person. But there's certain things, I'll be honest with you, but there's certain things that slap you in the face of the truth.
Yeah, you're right.
You guys know, I'll tell you right now, there are jobs that I have I shouldn't have. And there's no reason why I have it other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my mother's dua.
You're right.
No reason at all.
You're right.
There's absolutely no fathom where I can say, oh, I work hard, I'm a good interview taker, I BS good. All that people make to make themselves feel better and prop them up. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Allah willed something. I did something maybe pleasing to Allah, and Allah blessed me with something. Or He's testing me with something. But you can't let yourself get ahead of that. And I think that's the default thing. I love going back. I love accountability. I'm big on that. However, before you come to accountability, you have to ingrain that qadr Allah is going to manifest over everything. And that's it. Once you start with that mindset, everything falls into place. Because then you know that it's not good for you or it's not meant for you. You don't harp over it.
Yeah.
And this happens with racism, with money, with marriage, with anything.
Yeah. No, and the second part of that is, number one is being honest with yourself. But look how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to the believers, Kunu ma'as sadiqeen. You have to surround yourself with people who are truthful. If you're surrounded by people that just have you hear what you want to hear all the time, bro, we don't like that. That's actually a toxic environment too, right? A toxic environment isn't always where you are and you're uncomfortable. Your true friends actually eventually have to make you feel uncomfortable if there's something wrong that you're doing or something that's not right. You know what I'm saying? And you can't be surrounded by people who are always telling you everything you're doing is correct. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's two parts, man. It's you having to be truthful with yourself, and you have to have people around you that are truthful to you. Yeah. Right? And and just like a slight thing is, something we don't really utilize. When it happens, we get a little annoyed by it, but the person that knows you the best in the world is your spouse, right? And sometimes we just have to have, and I'm speaking for myself first, right? Sometimes when the missus is telling me something that's actually really accurate, it's just at the time I probably don't want to hear it and it annoys you, but it can be very, very true, right? No one else sees that side of you except for, so if you can really, really take these things seriously, I'm talking about myself, right? Is always being honest with yourself, surround yourself. Your friends are the people who are most honest with you. You know what I'm saying? And even at the time, if it seems like you didn't take your wife's or your husband's advice at the time, it still has to simmer and it still has to marinate in your mind. You know what I'm saying? It has to be utilized.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
Sim, before we get into what you were saying right now,
yeah.
I'm gonna send you something on WhatsApp, and I think it's really important. We could talk about this before we segue into this part. Okay?
Okay.
Because I think it's related to what I'm talking about. It's a clip on Twitter that I want you to listen to. I want to get your reaction to it. Okay? Because I think it's a segue. I think it's worth talking about, because the other thing is I get what we're talking about. Dilly made a great post. We're going to come to that in a second. But I want Sim to talk about this, because this mindset of putting Islam first and reinforcing that, like really hammering it into your mind, is really at risk here. Because a lot of times people are now questioning whether Islam comes first or not. Do my other identities come first, or does my Islam come first? And that's such a problem, right? I mean, in many ways, because I think one thing that kind of kept people in our generation, even when we kind of deviated from the path, we still had that root in there, right? That, hey, you're still a Muslim.
Yeah.
That's always going to come first. You should be ashamed of what you're doing because you're a Muslim first.
Yeah.
Right? Deep down inside, there's no question about what is it, the truth? Is it, do I prioritize anything above it or not? You just told yourself, listen, I'm a weak person. I should be doing something else.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm not. So that's my weakness. That's not a weakness that's not a prioritizing thing. It's not a priority issue. Right now, I feel like for young people, it's a priority issue. All these causes, all these movements, everything else is literally in contention for this number one spot in their minds.
All right, we got this up.
All right, go ahead. I want you. Let me put my headphones. I can listen to this part.
I have a question for you. Okay. Are you Muslim first or are you black first? What do you think?
Muslim first and black first?
Yeah. Which one are you?
Wallahi, I'm a Muslim first.
Okay, can I see your hand?
Yeah.
Give me your hand. What color is this?
Black.
So why are you not black first? Did you choose to be black?
No.
Did you choose to be Muslim? Yes.
I born for Muslim.
No, you can leave the deen at any time, but you can't leave your race at any time. Plus, these non-black Muslim people don't like you. Let's remember that first. Look at the skin. They don't like you. Yes, they will try to support you because you're Muslim, but when it comes to racial issues, they will not stand up for you. That's why you have to put your black people first. Always. Because at the end of the day, you black first. Yes. I'm always put my black people first. I'm sorry, Muslim community. Wow. I'm sorry, Muslim community, but my black people come first, and that's a fact. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I asked you. Yeah. When people ask me, what are you? I don't answer Muslim first. I say, yeah, I'm black. And I don't like when, because you know why I'm asking you this question? Because there was this time where there was a protest, I forgot what protest it was for, but I posted on my Snapchat, and me and this Indian guy, I don't remember what part of India he was from. He might be Indian or he might be Pakistani. I don't know. I forgot, to be honest. But I posted the protest and we were arguing about it, and he was more focused on the destruction of property than the person who lost their life. He was like, oh, why are these people protesting? You guys are going to ruin our city. And I was like, you know what? Buildings and companies could be rebuilt, but this person will never get their life back. So stop focusing on the wrong issue, right? And then this man continued to argue with me and be like, you're so focused on black issues. You're Muslim first. Have faith in Allah first. And I said, no, I'm black first. I'm not Muslim first. And I said, and I blocked him. him. So that made me mad. Listen. And I don't like when people, let me finish. I don't like when people ask me those questions because I'm always say I'm black first. And whenever anybody asks me what I am, I'm going to say black first. Yes, I'm Muslim, but look at the color of my skin. I'm black and I'm proud. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So before
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Hold up.
No, so before we get into this, hold on. Let me explain. This is a mother and daughter.
Yeah.
Okay? And by the way, the mother says, let me explain this to you later on, but they cut the clip. Right? So I'm alhamdulillah, I'm assuming strong Somali mother put that back in place, right? But one thing you have to know before we get into the discussion is, mashallah, tabarakallah, look how patient and attentive her mother is. Listening to her, not over speaking, even though she's being disrespectful to her mother. That kind of conversation, speaking, I would never do that to my mother. Speaking over her, but she's so attentive, looking at her in the eye, holding her hand. This is, patience, the love of a mother, right? Yeah. But that's parenting, like, expert level 100 right there, right? Yeah. Like she's tolerating this nonsense of her child thing, but she's trying to reason with her. But I just first I want to call that, mashallah, like that mother being right there, like that aura, that vibe is what a lot of mothers should ascribe to be like, or try to be like, aspire to, because that's really how you're going to keep your child in connect. But now let's go into the real substance.
Hold on, let me just get to the second thing now, just based on what you were saying, along that same vein. First thing, obviously, is the sabr of the mother. That was beautiful. That's the first thing. The second thing I noticed is the iman of the older generation. The iman of the grandmother, the concept of the iman of the grandmother. The younger generation may know a lot more than their parents, but the parents, the level of their iman is much different. Much different. You can see that. So how is what she's saying, the reason why I said it's satanic waswas or it's shaitani is this. Shaitan has more knowledge than everybody else. He's seen it all, right? And he will have the best arguments for the people who will have his waswas to other people, will give their waswas to other people. No matter how much mental gymnastics this girl was trying to use with her mother, she ain't budging her mother, right? That girl is so convinced. That's a very satanic thing that was happening, is when our belief in Allah is within every cell of our body and is in submission to Allah, and our heart only beats with the permission of Allah, the skin doesn't matter after that. Yeah. It's not even a point of contention and should never be. But she was trying to play mental gymnastics of trying to just philosophize a little bit and debate a little bit with her mom, but that wasn't going to work for her mom, right? That wasn't going to work. But rather, she wanted to make it about color. And she did feel uncomfortable with what she's saying. Sorry, Muslims and stuff like that. That's just a ploy because she's still trying to convince herself or something, or convince people of something. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. Probably, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I'm the guy. I don't know her personality. I'm not criticizing her, but the trickery, that mentality.
That's why I said shaitani.
So before you, I want to get Tim's immediately. What were you thinking when this went on in your head?
I just knew critical race theory was acting on this girl on a very deep level, and I was like, this is something that is a problem among Muslims, and it's furthering these racial conversations that have been taking place among Muslims. Are, in order to try to explain people the racial problems, they're dividing more Muslims along racial lines.
So a couple things I noticed too was key things I picked out, that, like Amr said, her mother was on point. Like, no, I'm Muslim. Not even like I chose Muslim, I was born Muslim, I'm Muslim. Like, that's it. Like, no doubt about it. But the thing here is this. Even from a logical perspective, right? Who are you to say that what sister, she said, your non-black Muslims will not stand with you? How do you know that?
Yeah.
You know every single non-black Muslim out there? If I said all black Muslims are a particular way, right? Or not a particular way, wouldn't that be offensive?
Of course
off the bat, right? It would be a form of racism, right? You're saying you're judging an entire race based on what a negative opinion on them, right? And that was number one thing. So illogical, number one.
Exactly.
Number two, the other thing is also what the brother was saying. I'm not saying I don't know what the Indian or Pakistani brother was saying to her. I'm not defending that. I don't know what it was, but as far as what she said about destruction of property and people's safety. You can't justify doing that because someone died. Because the person that died, that the haqq of the family for that person goes to the one who killed him. Right? It doesn't go to the random guy down the street. Because in Islam, not only is your blood protected, your wealth and your property are protected. This is how Islam elevates a society.
Yeah.
It's not just about the blood.
Yeah.
Because what happens now when someone's livelihood is taken? They spent their entire life building something, being a good citizen, a good community member, and you burn it down because you think insurance is going to pay for it. How do you know that every building has insurance, proper insurance?
Yeah, you're right.
Do you know this? What if someone's in the building and catches on fire and dies? Is that okay? Is that justified? If someone has third-degree burn but doesn't die but can't work the rest of their life, is that okay because they didn't die? What kind of logic is this?
Yeah.
And my fundamental problem is this. When I appreciate where she's coming from, fine, we can talk about issues where there is racism.
Yeah.
No doubt, nobody's denying that. But in order to solve that problem, you have to turn to Islam.
Yeah.
If you turn to other than Islam, you're appealing to the root of why all these types of things exist.
Yeah.
You're trying to solve it from the problem itself. It's never going to be a solution. You're just going to further the problem and make more problems.
Yeah. The other observation I have is like for other Muslims and young Muslims, if you want to make videos, bro, don't try to use your mom. You know what I'm saying? Like that's atrociously disrespectful, bro.
It's almost disrespectful. Like, oh, the college, I have to educate her. I have to wake her up.
Dude, you have no
I
idea.
have to tell her,
bro.
girl, you've been awake too long. It's time to go to sleep.
Yeah,
you know,
dude, that's
when
your
you awake
mom.
too long, you get sleep deprivation. You know?
Dude, that's your mom. You're gonna post that in front of
You've
the
been
whole
woke for
world,
too long.
trying to like trap your mother and like saying something what you think is backwards for the whole world.
Yeah.
Stuff that's sickening, bro. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that to your mom, bro.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an angle I didn't even think about. That she
hideous, bro.
she literally used her mom as a prop device to show to people.
That's what I mean by
ignorant-
shaitani, bro.
Yeah,
That's how toxic that is, bro.
that's a beautiful angle, Chef.
Yeah, and you know
toxic,
what's funny?
bro.
Since we're going to segue into Dilly's thing, but because related. But before we get there, because I don't want to go off topic subject too much, but it's funny because Caitlyn Jenner reacted to
To Dilly
what
Hussein?
Dave Chappelle was doing.
Oh. Yeah. I heard
Right?
I heard the recording.
And did you see that?
No,
Did you?
no, I didn't see it. What happened?
Caitlyn Jenner says, you know what? He's right. That he's not actually attacking trans people. He's saying that, hey, black people don't get the same attention that trans people get.
Yeah,
Right? And he's like,
That's the point he was trying to make.
Yeah, and Caitlyn Jenner was saying that, you know what, that you should have the freedom to express yourself. And woke culture has gone too far.
Yeah,
The censoring of speech has gone too far. And this is someone who, and then in order to counter that, some people came out and said, well, you know, Caitlyn isn't really the spokesperson, ideal role model for the LGBT community. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
Woman of the year.
Yeah, like Woman of the Year. Like,
For first year.
Like, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I just found that to be interesting that even, like what you're saying, that the woke culture is bleeding through that even people who are considered woke themselves are saying, wait a minute, we got to put the brakes on some of this.
Yeah.
Because now we're taking away the very idea or the concept that allowed us to be who we are. Now we're taking that away from somebody else. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
The idea of being woke and being liberal and tolerant is that allowed you to express yourself, right? But now that you have that, now you want to take it away from somebody else?
Yeah.
What kind of backwardness is this?
Yeah, man. That's the
So,
problem, bro.
sorry to derail, Sim. I know you had brought something up.
No. That's beautiful. I'm glad you brought this up because it just leads into our next talking point and what the episode was titled around. I mean, we just titled the episode, guys. I know you guys, sometimes you guys want everything in one title. It's just we talk about a whole lot and
Yeah.
we just name the title whatever is on our mind when we're making the episode show description. So forgive us. So I know sometimes some people in the comments they get really upset about these things.
Can you do the Arabic accent? Yeah, akhi.
Yeah, akhi.
It's not even an accent. It's a whole his disposition completely changes.
Like,
His face changes.
All right, so our old friend Dilly Hussein from the Blood Brothers podcast had a great take that many people liked, at least, and I want to share with you guys. And because on face value, I was like, okay, but maybe I'm just misreading it. So I want to run past you guys, and we haven't discussed it or anything. This is not an attack on Dilly or a confirmation. We're just discussing it because it's an interesting take, and we want to kind of dissect it a little bit. So here we go. Chrome browser. Okay.
What do we got here?
I want to make this bigger.
Can I read it?
Yeah, why don't you read it?
The disdain. Oh, can you move that thing off the post? Thank you. The disdainful tone and language of quote unquote some white converts, especially ulama, du'at, and activists, in the way they speak to or about South Asian Muslims, comes across like a colonialist teaching a colonist teaching his uncivilized subjects in the quote real end quote Islam, because somehow it's South Asians who need rescuing from our quote regressive culture end quote. Of course, this is enabled by Desi and Arab Muslims who fetishize about white converts. We place them on a pedestal that no other racial group receive. After converting, all our inferiority complexes start oozing out. So first of all, on face value, do you think that seems to me like it's a response to something that might have happened? What do you guys think?
I don't know what exactly this is referencing to.
Yeah, that's what I'm
so I have to
just take it on a general level.
He knows journalism. The onus falls on him. If he's not providing the context for this, we're just going to assume that this is we're going to put
general statement.
Just general statement that we can place on anything. Are white Muslims, some white Muslims, talking down to their Indian subcontinent, Indo-Pak Muslims?
Yeah.
Are they talking down?
No,
but
here's the thing. It's true. There some are, but there's definitely the Indo-Pak who do the same thing to them.
Right. So
I mean, it's a universal problem. It's more than just white and like non-white. It's not just colonial to me.
Yeah, and
Right,
plus
because
they get accused the most of being agents, white converts.
Yeah, no, I want to know.
That's one thing that
we'll get into the fact of what the negatives are. But what I'm trying to say is let's look at the problem itself. Is this problem uniquely or largely only with white converts? I don't think so. Yeah. I think that it exists in every community, right? Meaning that a lot of communities have stereotypes about other communities, converts or non-converts, and that's something we have to deal with. It's a form of asabiya, right? Well, that exists within us. But to say that, to single out, I think for me, unless it's related to something that was happening or he's referencing, that's something else. But to generally state that, I wouldn't do that. I think that's unfair. Because, in reality is that, I've seen situations where white converts are marginalized.
That's why I mentioned that thing. Yeah.
But
well, here's the thing: when you accept Islam, whether you're white, black, or whatever, you accept yourself. You feel like you're belonging to a certain family, and when you're part of that family, you're gonna want to bring your ideas and see like how you can improve that family. Sometimes you have family members in your core family unit, whether you're brother, sister, or whoever, who had some advantages. Maybe they were brighter, or they had some of the better genes from the parents, and they had a better brought up, or maybe their parents were more wealthy at that time and they were able to give them a better education. So sometimes they have some advantages.
Or they know the system more. Or maybe they know the culture
and
more.
Maybe they can, while being part of that family, that person starts giving their own family members like nasiha, like, hey, I'm just trying to help out society. I see the brothers parking on the on the grass at their mosque.
I see the washroom and there's a pig pen. I have no problem. Yeah, it's right.
It's a disaster zone in the wudu area.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to bring some advice and just some organization skills.
I see where you're coming from now.
And I'm not even thinking about my skin color when I'm giving this advice.
For them it's just so normal because especially in a place like America where you would go everywhere else and everyone who attends a masjid would behave similarly everywhere else. I mean, they would behave accordingly, but when they come to the masjid, it's different. Yeah. So I'm sure they recognize it too, white or black, whatever it is. Everyone recognizes that, but he's probably just thinking it, saying it maybe just harmlessly. They're just saying, hey, what? Why is it this way? Why can't we be? We're supposed to be different. Like we're supposed to be a better nation.
It's converts in general get that pedestal. My wife says it too. It doesn't matter about their skin color. She goes to a lot of these convert events that are happening around in the mosques and stuff, and there are some converts, not all. There are some who really they love the stage.
They do.
They love being that person that will come and tell you their story and why they accepted Islam, and
some don't.
They love it.
Yeah, some don't. Some don't. Yeah. But here's the other thing too. Before we get into it further with you, Ahmed, my problem also with this is that I feel like that Maybe he didn't read into it. Can you pull it up again?
No, but he's specifically talking about the fetishization of white Muslims.
Yeah, but can you pull that up again?
I mean, there is definitely some truth to that, though.
Well, white over other colors?
I think so.
I don't think so.
I think black Muslims are more entertaining than any other
for
color.
our generation. I think he's talking about the other generation. No, but I'll tell you what.
When we were young, our parents loved Siraj Wahid. Everyone knew that dude was black.
One case.
Wait, Malcolm
What are you
X?
talking about, Malcolm? Oh, what about the Ubaidullah Evans? Who else?
My dad doesn't know Ubaidullah.
He's not black?
No, yes, hold on.
No.
Hold on.
My dad knows Cat Stevens.
No, check this out, guys. Look, there is a level of honesty that we have to understand. Look, there is definitely a overwhelming amount of gleam that occurred to many people from a previous generation when there was a white Muslim convert. That's actually very true. And look, that's one thing, and that was kind of understandable, right? I get it. Now, did they use that? Now, the next claim is, do they use that to their advantage? And people are going to say that's what white privilege is, and they use that to their advantage. That's a whole different conversation. But for people who are talking about privilege, especially white privilege, let me give you an example. What happens when you go to another country and you have a blue passport? Everybody treats you differently.
Depends on what country you go to.
Hold up.
They might hate you if you're American.
Bro, 99% of the country.
Bro, when I went to India and I was a little kid, I was 6 years old. 5 or 6 years old. Everyone, bro, I had old people come into my grandmother's house, like, oh, Americans are here. Like, bro, I had like a line of people that want to meet me. Wallahi, I'm not making this up. Everywhere I go on the street,
blue eye, bro. You're
bro,
devil.
forget that, dude. Forget all that. Me and my sibling, right? And we were there with my mom.
Even the eat?
No, it was just me and my sister. And they were like, oh, Americans are here. They're from America. Like, you know what that does to a little kid, bro? Like, I feel like I was on top of the world, bro. My mama would take me, rahimahullah, he would take me to different places to meet his friends. Like, oh, he's American. Oh, my God, they'll be hugging me and stuff. Dude, you know what that does?
But that's not color, though.
Hold on. Dude, let me give you an example. So now, even people, let's talk about in like recent, like a lot of the Westerners that I knew that went to Egypt, bro, they could have talked about and hated privilege but when they needed to use their American or British card, bro, they went with it 150%.
Oh, dude. I use it all day,
bro. So it's when you're in that. Let's just say what they're saying is true, right? When you're in that position, you should be like, no, I don't want special treatment because I'm American. But no, do you know anybody that does that?
Oh, so you're saying it's a double standard?
It's a complete double standard.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know anybody that gets special treatment in America?
They run to the embassy, bro.
Bro, they love it.
Oh,
they'll tell the cops what to do, bro.
You see, they'll be singing that song right away, bro.
Bro, they use it to the fullest, and then they come back here and say, oh, these people are using it. Bro, everybody uses whatever. Like, one of my friends, he told me, he's like, oh, you worked at this place, and you were favored by this person, that person. And the same dude that I know is, like, connected with, like, legal officials, and anytime he gets pulled over, I know this person, and I know that person gets off from tickets. I was like, bro, everyone gets favored in their own way. Again, I'm not saying racism's cool, bro. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying to use this card right now, and I feel like there's still this whole there's not what Dilly's saying, but people that say similar things is a lot of it has to do with claiming that nobody has privilege except white people.
Okay, but wait, I honestly am yet to meet a white convert that somehow flexes on being white.
No, I haven't really met
me personally, I don't. And I'll be honest with you, I've heard people say, hey, I'm a black Muslim. I mean, I've heard that before. You know, I'm giving inner city dawah. I'm the black Muslim. I've heard all those things.
And
right?
Anything,
and not that I'm saying it's a bad thing, but I'm saying I don't hear that as very little, seldomly from white
I've never seen that. Rather, I've seen people, like white people, that were extra wary because they're going to a new space with different colored folk and they don't want to step on other people's feet. That's what I've seen.
Actually, I'll be honest, bro. I think white converts, bro, I feel bad sometimes because I'm like, look,
Heck
man,
yeah, dude.
No, because they don't know where they fit. Like, no, I'm serious. Like, sometimes you'll see them wearing like mixed garments, like they're wearing a dashiki and a kurta pajama. Like, they don't know how to wear. Like, they start adapting other cultures until they become comfortable in the religion where they start wearing the normal clothes. Yeah. Like, you know, it happens, right? Like, you'll find when a convert comes, especially the white one, he has to wear a kurta, or he's wearing a thobe, he's wearing a shimag, or a hamdaniya. It happens in the beginning. Then he becomes acclimated. He becomes comfortable, and you can see it come back.
Totally.
But in the beginning, they're so out of place because for an African brother, you can still be very much African and still resemble a Muslim. Yeah. Right? It's very Indian, Pakistani, you can still do that. It doesn't matter, right? I mean, you know, if a Hindu
Culturally,
convert, right, culturally, and I understand Hispanic, they always, you know, they kind of fit in, but with the white experience, it's a little bit different. I'm not trying to make an excuse, but I'm saying I feel like a lot of times they don't know, like, where to fit in.
Yeah.
Ustad in the chat made a great point about some of his friends, Hindu friends who accepted Islam. They didn't get any of this special treatment.
Of course they won't.
They're just the typical brown guy.
True.
Like, no one cares about their story. They're brown. They're already part of the South Asian community.
And to me, I find that, to be honest, I find that more entertaining. I'll tell you why. Because, you know, for a person, a Hindu background, to become a Muslim, it's a different experience. I'll tell you why. Because
it's much different. Yeah.
In general, in American culture, you're pretty much very independent.
Yeah.
You're on your own. After 18, like, you kind of live your own life. I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
Right? You might, you know, you don't really have that, like, but in South Asia, your family is everything.
Yeah.
Like, the idea of being estranged from your family is unheard of.
Yeah.
Right? And this would be something that would make you estranged from your family, right? They would excommunicate you.
Yeah.
Like, over there, you don't get a job, you don't get a career, you don't get status if your family disowns you, because a lot of these things are based on nepotism, right? I know so and so. That's how you get in. So to give up all that, I'm not saying white converts don't give it, but I'm saying the amount on average that a Hindu might have to give up to become a Muslim is massive compared to most other rivers.
Yeah.
But then they're also easily ingested as well into the native Indian, like, for example, in Chicago, very robust Indian subcontinent community. You can easily find a spouse. You can, within your own, if you're looking to marry within your culture and
stuff.
stuff.
There's a negative connotation of being Hindu, ex-Hindu too, though, right?
Right. Some Muslims in India will not marry, even if you converted, they won't, because your in-laws, the daughter or their sons' in-laws will be Hindu, and they don't.
I think especially for a male, it's harder. A convert, a female, she can probably go, but a male convert to Islam who's from Hinduism, a lot of people will be skeptical.
It's still much more easily ingested, though, than the typical. They can blend in more. They can feel like they're part of. I mean, at least because we're at the end of the day, we can talk about being brothers and sisters all day long, but human beings are they operate by optics, and it'll be much easier to fit in.
Yeah.
In a Indian subcontinent mosque if you're brown, right? Yeah. Or in any other ethnicity in their respective mosques, you know?
But ask any white convert person, sorry to cut you off, but a lot of converts that I knew, that I grew up with, and even though I was in Egypt and stuff, they'll tell you that I became Muslim, and within the first few weeks or a month, they wanted me to start giving a khutbah because they just had these high expectations of me, and they did that, and I followed, but then I realized that was a big problem because I had so much responsibility on me very, very early, right? There's those situations too. Yeah. So I get that point. Like, I actually believe him in that.
I do. No, and I feel like and here's why I do it. I think organizations like their token white person. They want that white faith, and they put this pressure on the converts to do that, right?
But why shouldn't they? I mean, I mean, they need people who look white to show to. I mean, like, for example, CARE has some at least white-looking people who they bring on TV. They'll bring CNN.
And I think that's immense pressure. You know what I mean?
It's about changing the perspective of people. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. No, I get that part, but still, I would say that at what expense?
Yeah.
Right? Someone who's new to the religion, now you're throwing in the line.
Well, let's just say they're not new to religion. We're just going by skin color, right? Would you rather have someone that looks like me, who is the same person, or white and going on CNN?
I'll be honest with you. As long as the person's articulate and they can get the point
across. Let's just say all that stuff is the same. You want a white person.
Honestly, for me, it wouldn't matter. The color doesn't matter to me.
That's ideal, but gun to your head.
I really wouldn't care.
Gun to your head. That's the only metric you're judging by. Someone by. Everything else is equal. You have to choose something. You have to choose one person.
Me personally, I want someone who looks like me.
I'll tell you why I think he's having a hard time.
He doesn't want
not a hard time, but he's not going to answer it the way you are. No. There's two mindsets. There's one mindset is the mindset of we have to represent Islam properly.
Yeah.
The mindset that comes from representing Islam properly, and this is still fine, I think it's still beautiful, is that we have to show the people the diversity and people like them to let them know Islam is not alien. So look, John, who's still a Muslim, who kept his name John, or Michael, which is still fine. Mike is representing this Muslim organization. For instance, that's going to be the face of the organization. I think that's really cool.
If a channel like Fox News is being watched by primarily white audiences, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
I get it. They're showing the white guy, of
then
course.
then you want someone who is white. Why is this even up for discussion? This is so
I think
like
you're saying to appeal to a demographic.
yeah. We're not saying that only black people
Like
are.
send a messenger among
We're
people.
not saying that
Yeah,
the black Muslims don't exist or Indian Muslims don't exist. But if you have a certain demographic who's consuming
makes sense.
that media.
No, I get what you're saying.
So-
Like, I mean, to like...
No, people have always done that.
No,
too,
I mean,
though,
like,
man.
to
Yeah.
black
In the
folks
past,
who are
you're right.
a person who's prominent in the black community or a black person, for white people, you know...
This is standard public relations
like
101.
I tell a Filipino Muslim...
Yeah.
No, think
For
about the hood,
Spanish-
though. Think about the hood. A masjid in the hood. Who would you send to the hood to
Yeah.
give dawah to a masjid in the
Did
hood?
Shohei Webb try to do that?
No, I don't know what he did. I'm just
kidding,
saying.
I'm just kidding.
But let's just see. What would happen, though?
Yeah,
Who would you
more
send?
more than likely, you want an inner city African Muslim
Who understands the
who
culture,
understands the
resembles
culture,
the
who
people.
can relate to them.
And that's very... Look, Allah
Yeah.
actually says that in the Quran, right? About Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? In Surah Yunus, he says, أَكَانَ لِلنَّاسِ عَجَبًا أَنْ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى رَجُلٍ مِّنْهُمْ أَنْ أَنذِرِ النَّاسِ. He's telling the Quraysh, do you find it so absurd? Are you so intrigued in a negative way, basically, that Allah sent someone to you from amongst you?
yourself, yeah.
Right? So that's actually... There's actually nothing. This is the problem. We make everything about race, and that's why we're coming back to that clip again. When you make everything about race and this complete sensitivity about race, then you're not able to see even the prophetic method, even the way the tutelage of Allah to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a proper light.
Yeah.
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah didn't send a Chinaman to the Arabs. What would happen if you sent a Chinaman to the Arabs?
Hey, that's a racist thing, by the way.
Good.
Can't say Chinaman.
I'm not being racist. I love Chinese people.
Aren't
You
they
can
called
say Asian.
I thought Orientals.
East Asian.
That's wrong too, right?
As
Chinaman?
Chinaman? A man from China?
Yeah,
Is that considered racist?
It's usually used negatively.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is that considered
the
racist?
woke people don't like it. So.
Well, I'm from the 80s, dog, and that was totally cool. And that's a badge of honor.
No, but you know what?
in
Though,
my
I'll
book.
be honest though.
But you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. And I'll be honest. Like, for example, I never felt like when I would go to different communities, right? If I went to African masjid, like predominantly African Americans, I never felt like, hey, how come there's not more people like me here?
Yeah, exactly.
Or I went to like an Arab masjid, white Arab masjid, like Syrian or Palestinian.
Yeah.
I never thought, hey, how come there's not
It's strategy,
more people
bro.
my skin tone like me? How come there's no one like in the khatib like me on the skin tone? When I went to a Turkish masjid, I never felt that way.
Yeah.
Right? Like I just don't. I mean, if I go to a brown masjid, I don't say, oh yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm in a brown place. You know what I mean? Like it's just not in my head. You know what I mean? Like it just. But naturally, people gravitate to people who know their own culture.
Yeah.
And understand the language,
Yeah.
their food, their customs,
No
right?
harm in that.
And then,
No
but then
shame in
again, the
that.
Quran specifies لِتَعَارَفُوا. You have to get to know them,
Yeah.
right? But we're all Allah blessed all of us,
Yeah.
honored us, karamna bani Adam,
Yeah.
and so we're all honored, but in our own ways, but we still have to get to know each other. And the idea is that you have to first learn your own culture before you learn about other people's cultures. It's just how it's gonna work. It's how you operate. You grow up in it.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right.
And I think for me, in my personal opinion, humbling opinion, is that if you're in the West, these ideas right now should be less and less and less.
Yeah.
Meaning because you go to a masjid more than likely where you see people who are different backgrounds. It wasn't like your parents' generation where it was all black masjid or all Indo-Pak or all Hispanic or all whatever, Arab. It was different, all Turkish. It's different now. When you go to a masjid in America, you're bound to see somebody who's different than you.
Yeah. No,
So
I
that
got you.
should start breaking down. We shouldn't go back to trying to reinforce those barriers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You get what I'm trying to
That's
say?
actually reinforcing.
You should be more open to it now, is my point. It's not, I mean, I would even say now, growing up in the masjid, in certain masajids in Chicago, it was unheard of to see different people. But then as we progressed in the 90s and then later on, it became very normal to see brothers that were different, right? And that's now it's a total normal experience.
Yeah. No, I got you. I agree with you, man. I just love that. I was thinking about that one thing while you're talking to me. So back in the day, we went on Jamaat to Masjid al-Fatr.
Oh, wow.
Tariq is dead. Masjid al-Fatr. I was probably like 9 or 10.
Oh,
Yeah, Muhammad Ali Masjid.
Oh, wow.
Muhammad
yeah.
Ali's Masjid. Yeah.
Imam Umar Abdullah.
Muhammad Ali built or he spent it. He
built it, and
some people call it Muhammad Ali Masjid too.
Jabir Muhammad was the one that helped them build it, and his son Umar. Remember we interviewed him. Yeah.
So we went there, and then I went and I was telling some uncles, like we're at a dawah, and he's like, "Kya wo?" I was saying Urdu first. So "Kya wo Bilali Musalmanon ka hai wo?" I was like,
What? What are you saying?
Bilali. Oh. I was like, no. What? I was like, no, but they're not saying, they actually, it's in a respectful.
But for them it's respectful.
It was respectful. Because it's Sahabi, right? Sahabi al-Jalil. So he said, so I was like, what? And then I was like, he's like, Beta, we don't say black Muslims or African, we say Bilali Muslims. Because Bilal, I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. But then when I grew up, I was telling somebody about that. Look at this. They're like, bro, that's so racist. I was like, man, you can't make everything about racism, dude. Do you think that's racist if someone says Bilali?
Well, I mean, in a way it is. Because you're saying you're categorizing him because Bilal is black and he's black, they have to be the same. You know what I mean? Like
they have to be the same.
No, but what I'm thinking but he's a Muslim. Right? I mean,
Bilali means like you're a follower of
Bilal following. Why does he follow?
But there's a whole group of people that believe that if they're black, they should call them Bilali Muslim. Yeah, but they're not saying it.
No, but what I'm thinking, are all black Muslims like from the background of Bilal? Are they like?
That's not. They resemble him.
How do they know that? Black people come in different shades.
I'm talking about the skin color, dude.
Yeah, I'm saying different shades of black people.
It doesn't matter, bro. That's not what they're looking at. Forget about that. Right?
I don't understand that.
I get that. Look, I can still. No,
they're trying to be overly respectful.
They're being, it's being respectful to a cringe level. It's just like
that's actually what it is.
It's just.
I don't think it's racist. I think it's cringy.
Yeah, it's just
cringy.
No,
it's a polite way of talking about race.
They're trying.
No, because when you go to a,
you're right. No, I agree.
No,
with
you say like I don't know.
I don't think it's racist.
Imdadi Muslim for like a Hindi Muslim. Do you say that to them? No, you don't say Imdadi Muslim.
Bro.
You say Pakka Muslim, right? Or like a regular Muslim, right? You don't give him a title based on where he's coming from.
I understand it's race. I don't think it's racist.
Dude, I'm not saying it's racist, but I'm not saying it's rooted in racism. But the idea that you would say someone is a Bilali Muslim,
if they're not
weird to me, bro.
Look, here's the thing. Okay, here's what the best rule of thumb to go by is what is that race or ethnicity referring to themselves as?
Yeah.
If they're saying black Muslims,
I agree.
then say black Muslims.
Muslims.
I agree.
You know?
Can you say Muslims?
Well, obviously, but
okay, they the African
but I think in the context of that conversation that he was having with those uncles was that they were wanting to know whether the mosque is a black mosque.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say though is that why is it even coming to that conversation? Are you going to behave differently in a black masjid?
No, bro, that's just the way they talk, bro.
But that's the problem. That's what I'm trying to say. You see, that's the whole fundamental I'm getting at. The problem. Why are they thinking that way? Does it make it? Are they going to behave differently because it's a Bilali masjid? Are they going to give a different kind of dawah? Are they going to eat a different way? What are they going to do?
No. So look. When I grew up and I thought about it, I chuckled. You know, when I thought about it,
you probably cringed later, didn't you?
No, later, but
yeah, Malcolm X Muslim masjid.
It's something that's trying to come from a good place.
Why they call it Malcolm?
You know, but anyways, man, I just wanted to. I don't know why I thought about that random thing. You know, but whenever people talk about race and stuff, I usually, there's a recall that happens, man. But
I wonder what they would have tried to frame a white mosque as, like if there were
American.
No.
They call them Americans, bro. Still, hold on, dude. They don't call white people white people. They call them Americans.
But here's my question.
You ever notice it?
But why wouldn't they call it?
That's why they don't consider themselves American. They don't consider us American. They're like, yo, we have American passport. Yeah. But those are Americans. They don't behave like the Americans.
I'm in America. I don't know about them, but this is not my issue though. Why don't they say Rumi Muslims?
Because, man, they ain't educated enough to think about that.
That's what I'm trying to say, bro. It's not educated, bro. They consciously
Jalaluddin Rumi?
No. Suhaib Rumi.
Anyways, go ahead, bro. So listen, dude. Anyways.
He's a white man, basically. Suhaib Rumi was a white man.
I know that we just want to keep
blonde hair,
casual convo, but let's get into what else. What do you guys think? What else is there,
technically he was Arab, though.
So Kyle Rittenhouse is off scot-free. Many Muslims of a certain ethnicity were cheering.
Cheering for what?
That he was free.
That he was freed. What's wrong with that?
I'm saying.
I mean, look, man. Here, I don't know the specific details of the whole thing, but I mean, some people try to make it a racial issue, and I don't think it was a racial issue.
From whatever you read, from the letter of the law, he was safe, and I think that's at least from what.
And he didn't kill a black person, so why are they making a race issue?
Yeah, why are
Because
they
he
so
get away
upset?
with it. He got away with it. If it was a black person saying, he wouldn't have gotten away with it. He would
No,
have
but
been
I'm
guilty.
But
saying
they can spin it in any direction. Right now,
know.
in this case, there were white people who got killed, and they're still like trying to make it.
I know.
Because this is exactly how that girl I'm so glad that you started off the video with that Twitter conversation that was happening between the mom and daughter. They framed the world in this way of juxtaposing color disparity and how different dynamics are always into play, because their assumption is that it's always racism at the heart of everything.
Yeah. Everything is based on race.
And all inequality is racism.
Racial. It's a power struggle. It's the power dynamic, and race is the center of the power dynamic. So everything is happening because the wrong race has the power.
Yeah.
Right? That's pretty much the idea of it. But I will say this much though: my issue in the limited knowledge I have of this case is that there was a lot of BS put out in the media. He killed black people. He's a white supremacist. He doesn't even belong in Kenosha, Wisconsin. The kid was like a lifeguard there. His father lives in Kenosha, Wisconsin. He's part of that community.
Self-defense and all that
right?
stuff.
I mean, I don't know about the whole stuff. I don't know about that. I mean, I do think that there could have been some charge that could have been brought against him. I believe there's a certain thing about. I have to look more into it.
There was a lot of stuff that was made up, man. I found out, like, you dig up a lot of the things related to his guns and where he was storing it. They're all like within the
and the victims, the quote unquote victims that were there, alleged victims, the criminal records they had. The other witnesses, the fact that they identified certain individuals but did not want to bring them to the stand because of their criminal record, they would taint the case. Like, it's not just a very honest way of presenting this case.
It was very strategic.
Right? Yeah. It was done in a way where we have to paint a narrative and we need to push this narrative. Forget about the facts right now. And for me, forget about the color of skin or anything. As number one, as a Muslim, as a human being, you should be concerned with the facts that you can prove. Because let's reverse this. What if you were a Muslim store owner and you were defending your store and that was you right there? And they painted you as a racist, a supremacist, an immigrant, a terrorist reporter, all the stuff they put on you. Because they want a guilty verdict, because of the racial injustice in the country. You shouldn't put somebody and crucify somebody because of an injustice they're not part of. Right? I understand there's a struggle going on in the country. I understand that certain people face these inequalities and there's racial disparity. I understand that. We're not denying that. But you can't target the wrong person for that.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that weasel, Sean King, a BLM weasel. He was just really like upset about it. I'm trying to find the tweeter actually.
Who's really upset?
Sean King. About Rittenhouse getting out.
Okay.
He flooded his feed with like the Arbery killing, so I can't find it. But yeah. Anyway, he was really upset about it.
Yeah, man. So what else, gentlemen? What else is on the list?
So how's work going?
Work is good, man. I'm doing.
Yeah, you enjoying it? How are you vibing and gelling into corporate America?
It's pretty smooth transition.
Have you become Republican yet?
No, I'm just doing my job, bro. That's
Me and Tim became Republicans the day we entered corporate America. Low taxes.
Yeah, man.
No. But you know what? Though, on the side note, I'm first announcement here, by the way. Announcement. I haven't told you guys at all, but I'm legitimately considered relocating to Florida.
What? You can't do that.
Yeah.
Sim, tell me you can't do that.
You're not allowed to do that, Yesh.
I'm thinking about really like.
Are you partnering with your cousin down there? Partnering with your cousin down there?
No.
Just say relatives.
Yeah.
It's more.
No, yeah, not only that,
relatives.
but I also been thinking about I would have never come back to Chicago in that sense, because if I moved, I wanted to be somewhere hot. But I came from my parents, but it looks like my parents, my mom, she's cool being away from Chicago. So if she can stay with me, I don't mind. But it'd be nice somewhere warm. I got low tax. I mean, dude, Florida has no income tax, low property taxes.
It's hot as hell, though, man. That's
I
the
love
thing.
hot, bro. I don't care. I love hot weather. But I don't mind. Every house is a pool, bro. You see me working from home in a pool, bro. I don't care. That doesn't bother me, bro. I don't care. I love heat. Anything under 85 is chilly for me. So I'm good.
How often are hurricanes hit that
Ashamsu hamam al-arma.
How often are hurricanes?
But you could be inland too. You can go.
What city are you thinking?
Boca.
Boca?
Boca Raton.
But I mean that area can be hit. But you go inland to like Tampa, or whatever, and you still, I mean towards Tampa, so you get away from that because it usually happens in the outer coast.
Oh man,
comes in.
Florida's grimy. I would have understood if she went to Texas. That's much more
Texas
cleaner.
is
It's a
cool, but at the same time, like Texas also has a lot of rundown areas, and like it's really like, and it's, I'll be honest, dude, it's too daysified.
Oh yeah.
There's too many daisies there, like too many of them.
Oh, you kind of just want to get away.
Well, Florida has too many crazy people. That's the problem. They have.
So Chicago, bro, Chicago have plenty of crazy people, bro.
No, Chicago doesn't have. Bro, there's websites made up for Florida crazy people.
Really?
Listen,
Yeah, there's dedicated Florida.
They can get away with that, but I'm trying to tell you,
that
bro,
happens in Florida. You
yeah,
never
because
heard
they
of that?
document it. Listen,
No.
you've been on the west side of Chicago. We want to see crazy. They don't document that because you document it and you get shot. But I'm telling you right now, Chicago is a crazy place. Okay.
I think it's very segregated. Yes, it's very segregated.
I'm saying, yeah, certain parts of Chicago, I agree. Chicago is one of the most unofficially segregated places in the nation.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it doesn't change the fact that you go to certain areas in Chicago and it's buck wild. Like you'll see people crapping in the streets, peeing off buildings. Like you'll see them running around butt naked in the street. Like
Buck
you'll see-
nasty, you so nasty.
Man, I mean,
remember
you'll
that?
see it. I mean,
From Chappelle's
I'm not
Speech?
lying. I mean, just yesterday, bro, these people ran to a Louis Vuitton store, smashed it up, and just started stealing them broad
Oh,
daylight.
yeah.
I mean, bro, they're going to Oak Brook now, taking stuff and like getting caught in the middle of the road. I mean, they do crazy things here, bro. It's all the time. We just don't get in the media because people don't videotape. People in Chicago, it's a different culture. You videotape the wrong person, they catch you, it's your life. You snitch, you get stitches. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, Chicago's different. It's a gangster city by nature. I mean, you had the whole mob. People know, even back in, even police brutality and stuff, people hush
You're
hush
talking
about
about
things.
Chicago. We're from the suburbs, bro.
No, but what I'm
And-
trying to say is that culture goes out because
We live in peace and harmony.
no, that's something. This part of Chicago is great. That's what I love about Chicago. You could be 20 outside the city, and you're like in okey doke land, bro. Like nothing, because that's what I'm saying with unofficially segregated is that they don't cross, even though it's like 15 minutes away, maybe, but they don't cross out.
Yeah.
They know better, right? And people likewise really don't go there, right? But what I'm saying is that's the reason why you don't see the craziness. You don't hear about it because it's segregated. But Chicago has more crazy people than Florida does. You just don't hear about it because you live in a cushy suburb.
Yeah, but that's why I mentioned segregation. It doesn't really seep over that much, right? But I get it. I get why you're moving out there. Taxes are really low. Trying to just
Yeah,
get
bro. For
away,
me, that'd
stay
be like
warm.
9% back on my taxes, 10% back on my money, bro. Man, this is extra
Is
butter.
it super humid there too? You've been there before, right?
Yeah,
Depends what
it's
part
so
you go to.
grimy, bro. There's no way I would ever move to Florida. I could see myself moving to something like Texas, but Florida, I
No,
have
but
friends
Houston's
in Florida.
really humid too.
I
Houston's
have-
more humid than Florida is.
No, I'm not talking about Houston, bro. I'm talking about like
Like
Dallas,
Dallas?
or something
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
But
I don't know, man.
but I have good friends in Florida. They like, don't ever come here unless you absolutely have to. It's so horrible. It's so sticky.
I don't mind the heat.
I like desert heat. I could understand if it's like Arizona
Arizona.
or something like that. He chose, or New Mexico. I'm like, yeah, nice areas, hot, but you can still survive.
Let's just all move to West Chicago, bro. Let's all be neighbors with Tim.
And look, if Chicago had great weather, it would be the greatest thing in the world. I'd never leave it. Every time
I kind of grew to like
every
it, man.
time
You just gotta embrace it,
Every time Chicago summers come, I never want to leave. I love Chicago summers.
bro. Just embrace it. Get an all-wheel drive car, and you're good, bro.
I have 3 of them. I mean,
That's all you need.
No, but what I'm trying to say
Embrace
is,
the cold, bro.
no, I'm saying it's not about the cold, man. I want to enjoy my time. I feel energy. Look, for me, I'm a high energy person. All right, I need to see sunlight and weather. If I see those 2 things in a day, I can work for 20 hours straight.
That's true.
For me, I'm a person that I have drive. I need weather that meets my drive.
It's incredibly depressing here when you have
but 4:30 is dark,
Maghrib
bro.
is at 4:30, bro.
And it's dark, pitch black, bro.
4:30. That's incredibly depressing. That just
Is
feels
it
like
really?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of
You don't play Muggles, you don't know, but I mean, at 4:30,
Maybe that's why. Maybe.
maybe
he's been praying. He's been delaying it because he's a working man now. So he
you have
he
have
can
that
delay his prayer.
that sad syndrome, seasonal effect.
Yeah, seasonal
affective
depression,
different-
yeah.
I have that, man. That
Oh, really?
affects
I
me
don't have that, bro.
mentally,
So I'm
bro.
different. It doesn't make me like what people call gloomy days. For me, it's just really relaxing. I love it. Like I'm one of those people that if there's daylight, even just a little bit, I turn off all the lights in the room because I like it dim.
Hey, is
bro.
anybody in the chat from Florida? Anybody out there? Let me know how it is because I heard it's really good in like in Florida. I mean,
It seems like you've already made your decision. I don't think.
And plus,
if
man,
you're hearing-
the homes, man, they're like little, they're like casas, man, like a villa, like they're nice and big with pools and like, man, like it's just, The life I like, bro.
nasty,
Wake
bro.
up in the morning, walk around my pool in the morning.
Find an alligator in
sunlight.
there.
I don't know. Alligator's not in South Florida. That's more.
There's
That's by the
lizards.
Everglades. Not that's by Orlando.
Pythons,
but
snakes.
Not really. I don't mind snakes. I mean, I'm with you all the time. So it doesn't
But they're
matter.
poisonous.
Snakes
I'm
and
with
rats.
you all the time.
Yeah, snakes and rats.
Yes,
always around
right.
me anyways.
You don't like boa
Yeah,
constrictors.
but anyways, oh, by the way, my friend Sajid Lipham, he's up in Jacksonville.
Oh, you guys are friends now.
Oh, my friend. Look how name dropped, bro.
Name drop, bro. Who else? Drop some more names. Who else you got?
Oh, my friend
Honestly-
my friend Muhammad Hijab.
I don't say that.
By the way, bro-
Every episode, it's someone he drops like, yeah, my friend.
By the
I
way,
never
I'm
said that. When I mentioned Muhammad Hijab.
Bill,
I'm
we're
just
just messing
saying.
around.
Oh yeah, what a
We're just
D-bag,
busting your
dude.
chops.
Busting my chops, huh?
We're getting you to the
Yanking
Florida
your
line, though.
chain.
Yeah. No.
Anyways,
All right, guys. It was a fun episode.
It was.
Is there any closing thoughts, Yashir?
no closing thoughts, man. Alhamdulillah.
Make sure you exit the back passage
Oh
safely.
wait, I have to before
when you leave.
we
Hold
wrap
on,
up.
Mort's got an
Wait.
announcement. Another
Wait.
announcement.
Shut up.
Another
Before we wrap,
announcement.
One second.
This is like the Friday final
Yeah,
announcements
because-
after the
yeah, we're
prayer.
gonna be- we're
the
gonna be-
never-ending announcements.
Yeah. No. Listen.
Brothers and sisters,
No.
we have an event
Yeah,
on Friday
no,
night.
but this is something real though. Okay.
Please stay.
This is not a donation
Don't walk
request.
away. Don't.
Can you not talk over? He's trying to get his message across, bro. He's turning
But
red now.
before I make this announcement or pose this question, not announcement, but can you guys all 45? Hold on. Let's see something. There's 45 of you people here, and we only have 5 freaking likes. I need 40 people to like this right now. We only have 5 likes. That's because you don't ask them to like the video.
I did. I said make sure you caress the like button and then smash it really hard.
Smash it!
Please.
Smash it like Khabib. Anyway, and
It's Smesh with the E.
smash
Smash.
like Hamza.
Smash.
Yeah. Anyway, no, but here's the thing. Me and Sam have been discussing.
Before you start,
Oh,
guys,
my
get
gosh.
ready for the rant. Get ready for the. Go ahead, more.
No, go ahead.
No, it's get ready for the rant.
Oh,
the stage is yours.
You're trying to hype me up?
Yes,
You're a horrible hype man.
the stage is yours.
I mean,
You completely.
What a
Wait, is it the same
horrible hype
conversation
man.
we had last week?
please stay away from me. You're a
Wait,
horrible
is it the same
hype man.
conversation we had last week after we turned off the
I don't know. I
podcast?
can't remember what happened.
That's
2
what it
years
was,
ago.
right?
Anyways,
Get ready.
listen,
Go
let me
ahead.
How about I just say it?
Say it.
He totally derails the
I
show.
know.
And
Say
then-
it.
and
Say it like you mean
So
it.
me and Tim are thinking about creating a side channel, and we want it to be like just our comedic routine, like our BS channel, where like you're gonna get our true. What's the good way? The
Complete
true
chill mode.
experience?
No. Can I explain it? The way I absorb it from you guys? There's not any structure. You're just going to talk to breeze like you guys are both working and talking on the phone or whatever the case is and just chilling. No
Yeah, but
planning.
that sounds gay.
No
You're
content.
talking about phone talk, pillow talk. No, what I'm talking
Pillow
about, like,
talk? I never say anything
no,
about pillow
phone
talk.
talk sound like pillow talk. You know, have a little chit chat on the phone. We talk on the phone all the time.
How do you want to make
What
it?
are you talking
Unstructured.
about, dude? You're the worst hype man in history.
Unstructured.
Just get to the
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. So my point is that we want to use a name. We're thinking of a name. Okay. We have some suggestions. Wonderful Sim with this brilliant idea came up with funniest fic. Okay. I like the name.
I don't like
Sheikh
it.
Amr thinks it's degrading. Let me know what you guys think. Okay. And then the other one is, what is it? Leaky Lota.
The leaky
The
lota.
Leaky Lota.
See, the leaky lota we could get away with just fine. Funniest fic, I don't know, because the FIQH is kind of
Or
you're attributing something that's like
Exactly.
Yeah.
Islamic
But it's-
related to like
It kind of just reminds me how like Jesus is open game, you know, so like how he's open game to the Christians now, you know, like
Yeah.
it's like kind of taking away like the humor, like the religion and its sciences are now open. For,
yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. Okay, and then the
Chopping
third
away,
the
you
third
know?
one is Jin, like Jin, Jin and comic. Like
or gin and Jews.
No, see, you don't get it because you're not.
Gin
you're not
and
hip.
juice
No,
instead of gin and juice.
You know, stupid. I'm about
Gin
gin
and
and tonic. Like, yeah, but I mean, like, so. No, so by the way, Muhammad is saying we need to check Amr and Mahin there. The thing is that like Mahin is too far, right?
and Sheikh doesn't like to be
And there's
associated
certain
with
things
our
that we can't do with Sheikh Aya because we have to protect his Sheikhhood.
No, guys,
His shake
that's
them.
not what it is, guys. Look,
he,
can we talk about the real reason, guys?
Yeah, the real reason is that
No.
we have to protect your Sheikh, though.
No, forget about all that. The real reason why you guys want to do this thing, right? A side channel with your guys' selves, and just make it just comedic and lay back and talk and chill, right? And not have any structure. is why. Remember we talked about this last week? Is because what you're expecting from what the podcast was kind of like supposed to be and what it was supposed to get, you're sacrificing a lot of time for it.
No, that's not the only reason.
That's one of the reasons.
No, no. We did talk
Moore
about
wants to be able to swear, and he's not.
No, that's not the whole reason.
That's not the whole reason.
No,
it was
no.
a part
It's
of
like
it.
90% the reason.
No, that's not, no. But I think that, no, here's the thing. Okay, real talk is that when you have this show, people expect structure.
Yes.
Right? We have to have the subject matter.
Yes.
It's got to be something related to Islam, related to Muslims. But, you know, this is not our entire life. Meaning that, yes, we are Muslims, but we don't spend every waking moment talking about these Muslim issues, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking on our show, we can talk about things that, like, the news thing that happened. Totally unrelated to Islam, right? Yeah. Bitcoin stuff, job prospects, how to do an interview, you know, how to invest your money. Sports things that are completely unrelated in a comical way. The way we have conversations about.
One of the guys, he's talking about Hamza Chimaev. We should talk about that.
Who?
One of the fans. Hamza Chimaev.
Smash you. Yeah, we could, but I mean, right now it's too late. And see, it would. Here's the thing: in order for us we could do that, but we wouldn't do the subject justice because we have to talk about so many other things that are related to more of what this channel is guided for.
Yeah.
That was created for. This channel is not created to be an MMA channel.
Okay, let's talk about this as a final thought about the show. Who is the biggest UFC star from?
Who's the biggest what?
Who is the biggest, or which Muslim from the UFC are you most excited about?
Coming up.
Yeah,
I mean, now that Khabib's gone.
Now that Khabib's gone.
Oh man, dude, Hamza, bro.
Hamza, right?
Even
Boris.
Islam, I'm starting to feel it for Islam Makhachev.
Islam
Makhachev is good too, but Hamza had that energy, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. How can you put that? How can you not guy with, I'll kill anybody, bring him here, alhamdulillah. How can you
Allahu Akbar.
Yeah, how can
the
you
way
not?
he carried the guy.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
While he's talking to Dana White.
Dana.
He's like, I saw him on his phone. I told him to get off his phone.
So for those who don't know what we're talking about,
Yeah.
so in the last match that he had, he carried his opponent to Dana White, who's the president of the UFC. Dana White was on his phone texting someone, and he wanted to make sure that he got Dana White's attention. So he picked up his opponent, and he brought him over to that side of the ring, screamed at Dana White, like, hey, look what I'm going to do to this guy. Stop watching your phone.
Down.
I'm going to destroy this guy. So he proceeds on annihilating
But
him.
you know what the most amazing thing about that was? It's effortlessly.
Yeah, it was pretty.
That guy was squirming around, and then he puts him down and manhandles him.
Yeah. That was pretty dope.
I mean, the guy's talent is just next level.
It's called Bezati. Is that an Arabic word?
Bezati, no.
No, that's not.
Urdu.
What's Bezati called in Arabic?
Bezati is kind of like
Shuja? Like what?
No,
what does it mean in Urdu? In English?
It means
no,
like
like
complete disrespect.
complete disrespecting. You know, like
just complete, like, dishonored. He was completely dishonored and disrespected.
they call it yafdah, like fadiha, like completely
Yafta. He got yafta.
He got
Completely.
Fadiha.
Let's put
Just
on
completely
But I
embarrassed.
mean, the whole point though is that I don't think we've seen as much raw talent with someone like that.
Yeah. No, so I'm not skeptical, but again, he's really amazing. I think his wrestling is amazing. He released a wrestling match too. I don't know if you guys saw his wrestling match against Dan Hermanson. It was great. Chael Sonnen actually commented on it. It was a great wrestling match. But again, he hasn't been tested against the upper echelon of his weight division. But to all the low guys and the mediocre, he's gonna devour them.
I'm saying this.
Where we
okay?
start having a concern is if he has to fight Kamaru Usman or someone like that. Then we'll know if he's amazing.
Yeah, I'm saying, look, let's be honest here. Kamaru is a very real possibility he can lose that fight. He might even do it, lose it. But Kamaru is a different kind of animal right now.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that guy, hands down, pound for pound, the best.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not expecting him, but I'm saying as far as his energy he brings to the octagon, people fear that man.
Yeah.
They don't want to fight him.
Yeah.
It's not that he doesn't want to fight the best. They don't want to fight him.
You're talking about Hamza,
It's too
right?
risky, yeah. Because why would someone in a top position risk their position for someone who's 3 fights?
Yeah.
It's not an equitable fight for them.
Yeah.
Right? It was the same reason that Mayweather couldn't get a fight early on in his career. He was too much of a risk. Why would someone who was with all that accolades fight someone who could potentially destroy them with no accolades?
Yeah.
What's the benefit in that? Right? There's really no benefit. He's gonna have to force his way in that spot. And that's why he's doing these antics to get Dana to say, listen, you gotta put me there.
So is Hamza is he on the deen? Is he, religious? Because I heard that him and Khabib don't talk.
No, that was a rumor about him.
No, the rumor they do talk.
You should see some of the stuff. There's a lot of specials on him now. There's somebody who made a movie about him.
Yeah, they talk.
It's actually really cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, he's my brother. We're both Muslim. I don't hate him or I don't anything like that. He said someone just misconstrued. A reporter misconstrued what he was saying. Is that he was saying that what if who's better, you or Habib? He just said I don't care who it is. You put them in front of me. But he's like that person took that as if I was disrespecting Habib. I just said, I don't care if it's Brock Lesnar. I don't care if I'll fight anybody. That's what he was trying to say. But they kind of manipulated.
But you know one thing I respect about, I hope this camaraderie comes through though. But one thing I respect about Kamaru Usman is that he won't go up a division because he said I'd rather have 2 Nigerians than 1 Nigerian have them both. I'd rather have 2 Nigerian belts than 1 Nigerian with 2 belts. That mentality is dope. It's not about greed. He's big and he's up on his people. And I feel like these Caucasus brothers can do the same thing. They don't want to step on each other's toes. If
they continue with the momentum, they're going to be the future of all of MMA, bro.
Yeah,
because they're this undiscovered gem.
No, remember we had that brother on our show, and when they see like a Caucasus sounding name or like that any "ov" at the end of it, dude, they don't want. It's hard to get a fight.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what we said. But who am I most excited about in the UFC? Hasballah.
All right, guys. Thank you all for listening. Help us out on patreon.com/the Mad Mamluks. Also, you can go to PayPal, go to themadmamluks.com/donate and donate through PayPal that way. Make sure you click on like and subscribe and all that good stuff. We'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.
All right. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.